All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elder bishops here in Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect scattered abroad. I'm the brother Taz of War from the GMS New Jersey camp. And just here with another quick video. This is a video I actually covered through this other chick I responded to. I can't think of her channel name at the moment. But just about 2 days ago, I believe Monday, I did a video which she covered this guy in this same video speaking on the fact that they're coming up in Washington a bill to strive to stop jobs demanding employees to take a microchip. So the title of this video is No Microchipping Employees in Washington State. This is from the Washington Policy Center. Right? It's no longer what they say conspiracy, it's a conspiracy fact, right?
Is an issue that I call, hey boss, don't microchip me. So there have been proposals that employers, this starts in other states, are asking, it always starts out voluntary, for employees to have a microchip under their skin, like in their hand, let's say, so that you just wave it in front of a reader, and it's used for security or getting into a building or accessing certain areas. It's supposed to be really convenient. But of course, this idea horrifies a lot of people. So a bill has been introduced by Representative Brianna Thomas she represents Seattle and Vashon. She's a Democrat. Her bill is HB 2303, and it would, very simple, prohibit any employer from requesting, requiring, or coercing employees to have a microchip implanted under their skin. This is a...
Bam. So, you heard it. It's official. It's a bill. It's not in law, but it's a bill that they're trying to pass. Why would they come up with a bill like this? You know, is it still not possible, you know, for the unbelievers, for them to say their rhetoric and speak their book, their minds on against the microchip being inserted into everybody? You think that they can't cause you, small and all, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in your right hand or your forehead? You think they can't do that? This guy is mentioning that this woman created a bill to prevent jobs forcing employees to take a microchip in their hand to come to work. All right. So, and I'm thinking about the other video the chick did when she reacted to this. She mentioned how it's nothing for Donald Trump to just make an executive order and rewrite this, overturn it, you know. But the point stands that this is coming down the pike, and Lord willing, this year, in the near future, maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a few months. All right, because this is Bible prophecy. Fair use, not using this video for monetary gain, just for educational purposes, information, right? I'm just reacting to it, and also for Bible prophecy. You know, the scriptures say what it say, and for those who believe, they're going to believe it whether you want them to believe it or not. And those who don't believe is not going to believe whether you want them to believe it or not. The truth is, this is all about faith. Now, another thing I want to make mention is that these false prophets, which are the various different camps, IUIC, ISUPK, BOW, and so on, these guys go speak against the Bible prophecy of Revelations 13:16. You know, what is the mark? What is the mark? You have millions of people who understand what it is. They may not know the scriptures, they may not know the Lord's true name, they may not be the Lord's people, but guess what? They know that prophecy. This shows when you measure the time, this is how close we are. This is how close we are to the end of Esau's world. Okay, that's 2nd Ezra 6. Everything I'm saying is through the scriptures. You can go and read the scriptures. 2nd Ezra 6, chapter 6 and 6 on down. Okay, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So, you know, brothers and you few sisters, hold on to your crown. Constantly and consistently pray. All right, pray. Yahweh Bashim Shai show mercy. Pray for the brotherhood. Pray for the few sisters who are sincere and diligent. You know, pray for the elect.
Idea, if you ask me. The problem with these proposals, and again, this has started in some other states, is it starts out voluntary, and then before you know it, the boss is saying, no, it's mandatory. The other part of coercion is they'll say something, the company will say, sometimes the government does this. Hey, we're not forcing you to do anything. We're just going to make your life really, really difficult until you comply. So,
right. And I got to mention what, the prophet's been saying, and I mean the true prophets of the Lord, start with my head apostles, Elder Apostle Tahar on down, is that what they're doing is called gradualism conditioning. But then after the gradualism and conditioning, it's going to become force. It's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in his forehead, and that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark, which goes into commerce, buying and selling. What is the microchip doing now? It's for buying and selling. It's for near-field communication, to transmit information to another device without touching it. That's radio frequency, right? That's radio frequency. Near-field communication. You wave your hand, you swipe your hand, and because of the microchip, you can make transactions. The dollar is plummeted. It's going to shits. It's done. All right? It's finished. So, if you been watching and understand what's going on, it's just a moment of time for the right crisis. What's wrong with you being aware? They try to, come against us because we're aware of what's going on. We are ahead. And the Lord said, and to back that up, the Lord said, before things spring up, I tell you of them, meaning the prophets. Before things spring up, I tell you of them. And now I also truly understand as well that these men that are false prophets teaching against the prophecy, they not even watching the videos to be reproved. And I'm just saying this humbly, and I'm believing this through the Spirit, because they don't have the heads up the way the Lord's men do. The Lord ain't giving them that insight, because some of them are paid off, some of them sold out, some of them just got pride, right? And some of them are just straight ignorant on purpose, and some of them the Lord just blinded. They can't get it. They're not written in the book of life. So be thankful, brothers. I'm very thankful, and you few sisters who watch, that the Lord is tapped in with us to give us the insight to see what's coming down the pipe. All right, because we are holding on and following his instructions, okay, which leads into order. The Hebrew word for order is Iraq. So keep the instructions. I'm thinking about 2nd Ezra 16. He says, let not your sins weigh you down, right? Matter of fact, let me get that real quick, Salakia, but I want to hit a point that came to my mind. And we do these videos daily. We're going to bring out the same scriptures if the Lord called for these scriptures to come out. So if this is not for you, just click on another video and get entertained. All right, we got to remind each other, all right, to stay diligent in the work. And if you are a prophet and man of the Lord and a teacher and you're sincere and the Lord called upon you to do this work, we're set up as watchmen. All right, right now we're blowing the trumpet. The trumpet, you know the sounds of the trumpet. You know the sounds of the trumpet. Do the trumpet sounds change? No. Just like the scriptures don't change. So we're going to read the scriptures. Okay? So 2nd Ezra 16. And it's the reason why I grabbed this. What was the reason? Okay, verse 67. It says, behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. So my point is to follow the instructions. If we keep to his instructions, as the scriptures say, I'm thinking of another precept, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. That's heavy. When you break that down, give diligence, you go into diligence, give diligence to make your calling, because we were all called into this thing, right? Give diligence to make your calling and election, being an elect, sure. That's heavy. So it says, verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. So this is dealing with the prophecy of the MOTB. This is Bible prophecy. This is going through Jacob's trouble. It says, for there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold is tried. And they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So the Lord is going to let the world know who are his chosen. So if you get mad at that because you don't like the fact that we're talking about his people, then that's your problem. If you have another understanding of this word, then that's on you. This is what we believe. Click to the next video, because the truth is out and it's going to be what it's going to be. All right. Scriptures say, because of their unbelief, do their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. All right. So let's get back to the video.
Coercion behind it. So Representative Thomas is getting ahead of this problem. We commend her for it. And this should be a very popular bipartisan idea. It is certainly something that Washington Policy Center would support. And we'll see how that bill does. It also brings up this apocalyptic future of science fiction that you hear about, where people are being turned into robots or...
Right, and everybody through social media, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmothers, and grandfathers who are on social media see what's coming. This AI takeover, all right, technology takeover, right? Movies, pre-programming you. Everybody see this. Just recently, they mentioned that AI has become sentient. Now, I looked it up and they said through Google, of course, that is not. But how can the bots block out humans when humans hooked up the AI bots to a certain chat? So now the chat blocked the humans, and now the bots have their own message and they talking to each other. Make it make sense. You know, they don't want you to see the danger behind AI and the bots, what they will call, okay? They don't want you to see that. They don't want to report those things. They don't want to scare you when you're already scared. And I'm talking about those who don't have faith but believe. They believe in this prophecy, right? The Lord is pouring out his spirit upon all flesh to dream dreams, man, so that they would know what's coming. That's why a lot of women and men are getting on social media and telling their truth, telling their dreams. So let's continue.
Advance and be mechanized. The more digital technology we have, the better. It's the first step to a brave new world. I know that this all sounds kind of over the top, but we have seen that ideas start out small and then they tend to grow. It reminded me from a policy point of view of the original thinking of the Social Security number that was enacted first in the 1930s. It only applied to people who were in the workforce, number one. And number two, the government only assigned you a Social Security number when you got your first job. So when you entered the workforce, you got a number. Well, here we are today in the modern world, and Social Security numbers are now issued mandatorily to every baby that's born in the United States. So it went from being a number for workers and for a social insurance program like Social Security to now it's our national identification number that applies to everybody. So I'm just explaining that that's the way these things grow, and we need to watch out. I'm not necessarily saying that Social Security numbers are bad. It's just that they start out small and then gradually expand, and by the way, become a mandate for everyone. So it's something to watch out for.
If you found this informative...
Right, so he's saying it's something to watch out for. Right? Why is he doing this video? Because he believes that it's coming. He just gave you the examples how he said the Social Security number. All right, so let's get to some scriptures real quick. The book of Matthew 7:15, it says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns, or figs, or thistles, or of thistles? Even so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit." So, you men out in them different camps. You watching Great Millstone because we're right, but you're a part of the different camps. My humble opinion is for you to lead them camps and get out of there. You hear what Yahushua said? He said, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. So you have to leave. Being afraid to be talked about, like IUIC, they blackmail you and do all types of shit, ruin your life just because you went out of the camp. It's madness. All right. They'll take your woman. All right. What that dude say? She got like 3 months to leave him or whatever. Like, are you kidding me? That's adultery. So these other camps, man, all right, they're considered the evil fruit. It says a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them. So by their doctrine, teaching, by the way they conduct themselves, which is behavior, all right, how they serve the Lord, who they praise, who they give honor and glory to, you will know them. And that's why you have to have discernment. And if you are of the Lord's hopeful elect, the Lord will give you the signs to see. He will give you the discernment to determine, what's good and bad. So this is 2 Peter 2:1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. I'm thinking about Sakari. I'm thinking about Genesis, man. All right, anyway, verse 2. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. They all remixing the doctrine. You talk about the truth, they demonizing you now, when they was once teaching the truth. It's amazing. Verse 3. And through covetousness, right, they want what other brothers have, and through covetousness shall they, with feigned words, make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation stumbleth not. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down into hell and delivered them into the chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, right, which are us, right? The chains of darkness is the flesh, right? It says, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in a flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. So that's an example. When the Lord brought the flood, he saved Noah, right, and his sons and their wives. Then it said he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, all right, into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly. Now, America has the spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah in those 5 cities. This place resonates with Sodom and Gomorrah. So it says, verse 7, and deliver just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For the righteous man dwelleth among them, and seeing and hearing, vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. And that's just like us today. We're vexed. All right. The scriptures say, set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. We're sighing and crying to the Lord to take this wicked devil out, bring forth the kingdom and establish righteousness. That's what we want. So we're looking forward to prophecy coming to pass. We're looking forward to this coming to pass. They ain't got long once this come to pass. The Lord said he come quick, and he comes like a thief in the night. 1 Thessalonians 5th chapter, you have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly the day of the Lord shall come as a thief in the night, right? So Verse 9, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation. Now, that reminds me when Yahweh Shai said in Revelations 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I shall also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Man, everything lining up, man. This is it, you know. So pray, continue to pray, and you know, and stay humble, and be diligent. It says, the Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. So for those wicked men and women that's not being punished just yet, well, the Lord know how to reserve you unto the day of judgment to be punished. Verse 10, but chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness, and despise government, presumptuous they are, self-willed, they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. That's the 2/3. Whereas angels, which are greater in power and might, bring not railing accusations against them before the Lord. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. That's them niggas, them niggas. Okay, the ninja woman and the ninja man, or the ninja himself, excuse me, because they're natural brute beasts. You know, you can't do nothing. You can't speak to them. You can't reason with them. You can't correct them, right? And they speak evil of things that they understand not. They're scoffers in the camp and don't even know why they scoffing us, just picking fights with us and shit, just because we out there speaking on the street, right? It says they shall utterly perish in their own corruption. So don't worry how the wicked is punished, but inquire how the godly will be saved. All right. It says, verse 13, and shall receive the reward of the unrighteous, as they that count it pleasure to ride in the daytime. Spots they are, and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings, while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls, and heart that have exercised with covetous practices, cursed children, which have forsaken the right way, and are going astray, following the way of Balaam, the son of Besor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. Right. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let's read this last one. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are going out into the world. Right. I'm gonna just leave it at that. False prophets, man. All right. Beware, because you've been warned. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Racha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elder bishops here in Great Millstone, who rule well. Salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom.